This episode of the ZuLoo Pōōdcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.
Really, I thought blew everything else away, just the way.
Yeah. What was so spectacular about it?
Well, it just talked about how important it is, like what we put into our bodies and how important it is to poop and what our poop should look like.
It's very interactive, right?
Okay.
A lot of different things. And we show it on the video, but go ahead. Yeah, different interaction where kids can come.
I just love how you keep finishing my sentences.
Well, it's part of the dialogue of the podcast, you know.
You're like, go ahead. And then you go ahead. And then I start and then you go ahead again.
Okay. Yeah, Trevor, you can cut any of this or you can leave it in.
Trevor,
whatever.
do not cut any
Anyway,
of
go
this.
ahead.
Okay.
I'll just shut up.
Are you sure? I don't think you can.
Maybe.
Where's the tape?
Welcome to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets, and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories, and quirky humor, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what ZuLoo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
You guys, today is a very special day here at the ZuLoo Pōōdcast because not only do we have Darren, I mean, we get you most of the time, but today
Not so special.
he has brought his amazing, beautiful, stunningly lovely wife,
Wow.
Shannon.
Thank you so much.
And I don't think you've ever been on when I've been here, so this is a first for me.
Oh, cool.
So, yay, we're all here
I'll
together.
just let you guys talk amongst yourselves. And
You just look pretty sitting there, and
just look
Jocelyn and I
pretty
will
here,
take over.
Yes, you're the Poodcast candy, and this is the meat right here.
yeah, I wouldn't call it candy, but.
But you
yeah.
guys just returned from a really incredible trip to Korea. And
right.
we are
Yeah.
going to talk all about that because it sounds like you had a lot of adventures, maybe one or two arguments, and we don't want you to leave anything out.
Just one or two? Yeah.
No, we're like, we really have the best time when we travel together. But when we did go to the toilet museum, it was pouring rain that day. So that was quite the adventure.
Shan's been asking to go to Korea for years, right?
What was
years
it
and years because she's a big
that drew you to it?
she's a big K-drama fan, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And so
Okay. And you are
and I am too, admittedly, right? But then when we found out, holy cow, there's a toilet museum in Korea, I'm like, let's go. So
Okay, yeah. I want to hear about the toilet museum, definitely. But I also want to hear about K-drama because I know it's like a whole world that people are really into. I haven't been exposed to it. So what's the allure? What's great about it?
We will expose you.
Okay.
Yeah. So in 2020, everybody was just at home and going through everything they could possibly see on Netflix. And a couple of times, this Crash Landing on You had popped up on my feed. And I was like, what is this? And I started to watch just a little bit of it. And I'm like, oh, wait, I have to read subtitles. I'm like, okay, next. And then my good friend, Cody Sanders, who...
Shout out to Cody and Trevor back there.
That's right.
Ding, ding,
They've
ding.
both been on the podcast. She texts me and she's like, Shannon, okay, we're deep into this show. I am telling you, it's so cute. Just give it, 4 episodes. And just the way Korean dramas, their format's a little different than what you're used to.
They are a little quirky.
Okay.
they're
Sometimes a little
sparkles
corny, we would call it,
sometimes, and-
but
But
You
maybe
know.
that's part of the charm. Like
it is
it
part of
is
the
very
charm.
feel good.
You kinda-
It is.
It is a K-drama at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
kind of like if you watch a soap opera, you kind of expect a certain,
Yeah.
Right.
You know what you're getting.
a little bit of
Right.
cheesiness, right? But go ahead.
So I'm sitting there by myself at home watching it, and Crash Landing on You, part of it takes place in...
Crash Landing on You.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the name of it. Part of it takes place in Seoul, part of it takes place in North Korea, and part of it takes place in Switzerland. So I'm sitting there watching the North Korean part, and there's soldiers and guns, and Darren and my youngest son walk in, and they see like military North Koreans with guns, and they're like, "Whoa, Mom, what are you watching? That looks good."
That's how
And
they
so-
got you.
That's right.
Yes.
They hooked me with the guns.
Yes, totally, with the whole uniform and all that. And so we all just started watching it, and then another episode and another episode, and we watched. They're usually 16 episodes long. This one is almost like an hour and a half each
episode is
wow.
is like its own little movie, right? But then it ties
and they
you
just
to the next
spoon
one
feed you the next
one.
episode.
Yes.
So before you know it,
They give you a little
spent 24
preview.
hours.
They give
It's
you
a
little
love
preview of the
story.
next
It
one.
is so it's so cute. This love story. It's just like the main guy. His name is Hyun Bin, in real life, and then his wife is in real life plays.
So they're love interests on the show, and they're married in real life.
Right.
Okay.
I think were they married when they shot?
They were not.
They were not married when they
they
shot
got
the
married
show.
And then they got
During
married
the show,
After the show, I
After
think
the
they fell in
show.
love on the show in real life.
Right.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that adds a whole other layer.
And they've had a baby.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's
they're
amazing.
they're so cute. So when they're gazing lovingly into each other's eyes, it's like
You believe it.
This is for real.
Yeah.
You know? And
it is for real.
it is for real. Yeah. In fact, when we were in Busan, which is the southern city in South Korea, we stayed at this hotel that hosts the film festival and international film festival. And I asked one of the ladies if she had seen Hyun Bin there. And she's like, who? And I'm like, Hyun Bin? And she's like, Hyun Bin.
Yeah.
And she's like you say, Hyundai. And I'm like, am I supposed to be saying Hyundai?
like the car.
Hyundai? Or
Hyundai. Yeah.
No,
Right?
it's Hyundai.
Hyundai.
It's Hyundai.
But it's
like
like
Sunday.
Hyundai.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't think I've been saying that right either. So, but she was like, oh, yes, of course he was here. And she's like, his broad shoulders and his dimples. And we were both having this moment. And
You were fangirling over this.
and
guy.
Darren's standing right there. And he's like, he's not that cute. And I'm like, yes, he is.
Well,
He
you'll
is a
have to
movie
show
star.
me pictures. I will settle
Yeah.
this once and for all and let you know
That's
if he's
right.
cute. I'm sure
That's
he's very
right.
cute.
He's very cute.
Yeah, you'll have to watch the show now
Yeah.
and let us know what you think.
So
you know?
since then, we have just been doing Korean drama after Korean drama. They're very clean. They're like they will walk by each other and brush hands, and that will be just like
It's
a
very like
big
Mr.
deal.
Darcy and
Very dramatic.
yes.
yeah, like just the
Right.
very subtle.
The formality, and that's part of the culture too. Very
Right.
formal. I mean, yeah, especially when you're addressing other people. How old are you? And
Yeah.
and obviously, I think a lot of like men and women, they don't really even date until like college years, right? It's like very
Right.
pushed into the future, right? So
Well, and then what I was noticing fashion trends that were in 2020 are hitting the States now. You
Yeah.
know, like, I mean, they're just super ahead in all of everything they do, the technology. So I'm just like, we've got to go to Seoul. We've got to go to Seoul. So we've like really been eating a lot of Korean food. I've been doing Korean on Duolingo, and finally the opportunity came. And then we found out that there's a world
a toilet
toilet
house.
there. It's like, what?
Darren's
What?
for
I'm like-
everyone.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And it's right there south of Seoul. I mean, it took a while to get there. I mean, it's like Seoul is such a huge, sprawling city. I mean, it's like 10,
Can you
10
compare
million
it?
people.
Okay, so I'm trying to
it's
think
like,
of
it's like going to Manhattan.
It's 9
right?
million,
New York,
9.5
right?
million people.
And the sky, I mean, it's like how many towers? I mean, it's like office towers are like dime a dozen. Like, I mean, it's just amazing. And it just sort of sprawls all throughout that. I mean, you've got the big landmark in the city is the hill with the Seoul Tower. It looks like it's a radio tower, but they have a restaurant up there.
Kind
and
of like
it's
a Space Needle.
Kind of like a Space Needle.
Exactly,
Right? And that's
yeah.
kind of the landmark. And so you kind of get your bearings by where are you in relation to that. But yeah,
It
it's
was
such an
amazing.
amazing
Oh my
city.
goodness.
So it lived up to all your K-drama
Oh,
fantasies.
it's really
Yeah.
like going to Dubai. I mean, like
okay.
what
Yeah,
we've
it's
talked to people that served church missions there maybe like 30, 40 years ago. And they're like, why do you want to go there? Because it was so different. Today, it is next level everything. Technology, toilets. I mean, when you travel
Every
to
restaurant
Europe.
had a bidet and just a regular public
Yeah.
restroom.
Would have
Bidets in the
bidets.
bathrooms. Yeah.
And like when you travel to Europe, you just never know what toilet you're going to get. I mean, you're
it's
in
a bit
these
of Russian roulette.
right. You're in these places that are like
Well, same for
200,
America.
300,
You get
500
sort of
years
true.
old.
you know.
Yeah, but I mean, this is I mean, in Europe, it's just different. And you always have to like pay or buy something to be able to use the toilet there. And in Seoul or all of Korea, I found that toilets were just everywhere. I mean, they're just like
very accessible, easy to get to, easy to use.
Super clean. The floors are spotless. You would not find a little rip of a piece of toilet paper on the floor. All the doors line up. You don't have these big gaps, you know. There's no squatters. I mean, always paper, always soap, everywhere. Everywhere. Like,
these are public toilets.
These are public toilets. Like, they're just, it's really amazing how accessible and how clean they are. I was like, okay, I need to use the bathroom. Like in Europe, it's like, I can hold it. I'll wait. I'll wait.
Well, and I was going to ask, how did that change the ease and like, the convenience of going out? Because you're not worried about, oh, shoot, am I going to have to hold it? How close am I going to be to a bathroom? If you just know that you always have a clean, safe, convenient place to go, that makes everything so much easier.
Yeah, we got on this little train. It was like kind of a sightseeing train, and it made all these stops along the seaboard. And we just decided to get off. And so we're kind of out, you know, not in the middle of nowhere, and then right there's this beautifully clean toilet. The floors are actually wet from somebody recently scrubbing them. You just know that there's going to be something accessible.
That is such a big deal. I mean, I know that's a big deal for everyone, but a woman, if you're on your period, if you just, you know, you had a lot to drink that morning, it's such a relief to know you can be relieved at any moment.
Right. In a clean environment.
A safe one.
Yeah. Not where you're just like, okay.
I know.
Okay.
Like, honey, stand guard.
Right.
And one of the founders of the World Toilet Association. Now, we talk about the World Toilet Organization, which is Jack Sim and his organization, and they're worldwide, right? And I don't really know how the World Toilet Association, WTA, we really don't know how like large they are, but they do very similar things, right? And so one of the founders of that organization, who built the toilet, what it's called the Toilet House, right? It's a toilet museum. He wanted to really change the culture of toilets in Korea, because back in the 80s, it wasn't like you see today. You know, it was
there were a lot of squatters. And he wanted to, and they were bringing the World Cup to Korea.
Oh, okay.
And so that was part of the impetus behind. He's like, you know, we need to raise our game and raise our level of cleanliness, accessibility, and all of that. Not just for the World Cup, but that was sort of the spark that said, hey, we need to step up. And so he had such an impact, not just in his city, you know, south of Seoul, but also just in Korea, toilet culture in general, right? It's like a big deal, right? And so, and we can get into his story too, but yeah, he was the one that brought the World Cup to, or he didn't bring the World Cup to South Korea, but he, in preparation for that, you know, they redid all of their toilet systems. They talked about this at the they call it Mr. Toilet House. They call him Mr. Toilet. It's funny, Jack Sim calls himself Mr. Toilet.
Toilets.
It's kind of like dueling.
Right, and it's interesting. They
Toilets.
both have Jack and Sim in their name.
I know, it is
really?
interesting.
Yeah.
So what's the WTA guy's name?
His name is Sim Jae Duck.
Oh my goodness.
And
Both Sim.
Yeah.
Both Sim.
Oh, that's interesting.
And both Jack.
So what was the craziest thing you saw at the Toilet House? Well, was it what you were expecting? Give us the lay of the land. What is it like?
Okay, when we got there, it was pouring rain that day. I mean, pouring rain, and I wish
we had great weather the whole time, and then the day we were like, okay, we're going to go to the Mr. Toilet House. Pouring rain, just solid. We thought, oh, maybe it'll break. No, solid rain the entire day.
And the outside had so many funny little monuments and cool monuments that kind of just showed the history of the toilet, and then also kind of in a tribute to like the culture where we were at, and where where toilets have come in Asia.
I think the Children's Museum was your favorite. Right. So it's like this, it's pretty large. It's like maybe about an acre or two. Mm-hmm. And you have this house that
I would say it's even maybe bigger than that.
Yeah, it's a couple acres, right? And so you've got this house where it's actually where he was born and raised, and he knocked the original house down and built a new house in the shape of a toilet. I mean, it looks like
yes.
It looks like.
Do we get to see this?
Yeah,
we're gonna okay.
Well, we got some footage.
Okay,
but
hold on, I got to see it.
The actual house is in the shape of a toilet.
Oh my gosh. It actually looks cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, flip this over.
I wouldn't know that it's a toilet necessarily.
Yeah, so this is the whole campus here.
From the top down, you can tell what it is.
Right. And so he built it. And so what he said is, hey, I'm going to build my house into a shape of a toilet. And then when I die and pass on, and he's passed away now, but he's like, I want to turn it into a museum.
There is a massive, life-size poop emoji.
Right.
On the deck.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's life. What do you say, life size?
Bigger than life.
Yeah, bigger than life, right? The biggest poop you've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have the house, which has kind of a history of toilets and kind of tells his story. But then also on the grounds, they have examples of the way toilets have evolved. They have a porta potty. They have kind of the way they used to do it in Korea long ago, these little huts,
And does it look like stuff that we would recognize in the States as, I mean, our toilets have not evolved that much, at least
right.
Not that I'm aware of. Yes, we had outhouses, but it's pretty much kept the same basic shape. Was it vastly different over there, or was it like, oh, this is similar?
No, very, very similar. I mean, they did have inside the museum, they'd have different, hey, here's what you would think of like a chamber pot, type system. And then of course evolved from there. But then across the street, you have a large building that is just a 4-story building that actually on the 4th floor is the headquarters of the World Toilet Association. They were gone to some conference at the time, and we definitely need to go back and maybe do an interview with some of them. But then on the ground floor was this children's museum.
Yeah,
which was like
so
amazing.
Awesome. Really, it was so awesome.
A children's museum centered around toilets. Or just a children's museum?
Children's toilet museum that. Really, I thought blew everything else away. Just the way.
Yeah. What was so spectacular about it?
Well, it just talked about how important it is, like what we put into our bodies, and how important it is to poop and what our poop should look like.
It's very interactive, right? Okay. A lot of different things, and we show it on the video. But go ahead. Yeah, different interaction where kids can come.
I just love how you keep finishing my sentences.
Well, it's part of the dialogue of the podcast,
You're like, go ahead, and then you go ahead, and then I start, and then you go ahead again.
Okay. Yeah, Trevor, you can cut any of this, or you can leave it in.
Trevor,
whatever.
Do not cut.
Anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll just shut up.
Are you sure? I don't think you can.
Maybe.
Where's the tape?
Maybe I'll go to the bathroom. I'll go to the bathroom.
It's like
you guys
tell
talk.
the story, and then I start, and then he jumps in. No, so it was funny because we had an Uber coming, and because we went across the street, and we were looking for the Children's Museum, and we went to the wrong floor, and so we were like, oh, okay, so we just used the bathroom, and in the bathroom over there was poopery.
Oh,
which
awesome.
I was like, it was in a large one in every single stall.
Cool.
Which I thought was pretty cool. And so I just kind of walked around the building a little bit, and then I found the floor that the Children's Museum was coming, and I'm like, oh my goodness, our Uber's coming. And
what's funny is because nobody was there. Like you walk in the museum, no one's there to greet.
The whole museum. It was
the whole
just
building.
Self-guided.
I mean,
okay.
I think part of it is due with the weather, because who would want to come to the toilet museum when it's raining like this?
I don't know. I mean, so I walked in and I was just kind of looking, and I was like, this place is so awesome. It had all the different, if you sit down, all the different sounds a toot would make. It showed a healthy poop. Poop that doesn't look so good if you're not eating right, and how important it is to put good food into our body. It had a slide that what was it? It was almost like you were coming out.
Like intestines? And
it was like a big elephant or something, and it was like you were coming out of his bum.
Okay.
And it was like you are the poop or something that's coming down. I mean, stuff that kids...
They would love.
They would love.
Yeah.
They would totally love. And like you put your face inside of a toilet and you can take a picture. You know, like when you stand behind those cutouts.
Yeah.
And you put your face in, your face is inside a toilet. I mean, just kids would eat this kind of stuff up.
Yeah.
And it was just cute and colorful and fun.
There's a library there of all these different poop related books, children's books.
Yeah.
Wall to wall. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, it was so cute. And then our Uber came and I was like, oh, this was awesome. I enjoyed both places, and I wish it wasn't raining as much because we we did walk around outside and we did get some video footage outside, but it was just a little compromise because of the weather. So,
well, can we look at the video? I think we need to see this.
Yeah, let's show it.
All right.
Okay. Hi, from Seoul, Korea. My name is Shannon and I'm here representing the Poodcast, ZuLoo's Pōōdcast, and wow, did we pick a great day to come. It is pouring rain. We've been here for a few days now and have had just nothing but blue skies, and today it's coming down, but that's okay. We're not going to let that get us down. We are here at Mr. Toilet House. It is currently the largest toilet museum in the world, kind of a big deal, and we're going to go take a tour of this museum. Let's go inside. So this house was donated by Sim Jae Duck. He rebuilt his house that he lived on for his family estate for 30 years, tore the whole thing down, and rebuilt this place. And for a while, he lived in it. And then when he passed away, his will said to donate this area, this building, for a museum. And so it goes through the history of toilets, and we're going to take a look. So inside, we are seeing the evolution of the toilet. And can I just say that I am happy I live today. We start with the chamber pots and go through all the different civilizations and cultures, and we start moving into the Western culture concept of hygiene and sanitation. So in the early 1900s, the Korean culture really started exploring sanitation, largely with the Western culture weaving into it. And this is where the squatter, you've all heard of the Chinese squatter. This is where it all began. Let's go upstairs. So with ZuLoo, we are all things toilets, all things sanitation. So this stuff is fascinating to us. But things have really progressed since the early 1900s. And now we're 2024, and it's a sanitation global movement. Did you know the average person spends 333 days in their lifetime on the toilet? That would be 376 days average for a woman and 291 for a man. Unless you're married to my husband, and I think he is in there longer than I am. It looks like today's date, 2024, and now we're going back in time. So let's go. We have just now arrived 1939. So now we're going to see the history of Sim Jae Duck. Once upon a time, a baby was born in a toilet in a house of Suwon, because the folk believed that those born in the toilet live healthy lives. They decided to name their baby Sim Jae Duck. So I'm guessing that the toilet meant the room where the toilet was, not he was born in the toilet. Okay, I'm nervous. Okay, poor guy, don't fall in. I guess this is him. Sim's thinking, there's got to be a better way. I agree. So now he is teaching agriculture at a high school in 1963. This is Mr. Sim, as he is a teacher with his certificate. So Sim Jae Duck became the mayor of Suwon, And after winning the bid in 2002 for the FIFA World Cup, Mr. Sim took on the initiative of making Suwon have the best toilets in the world, national, international, for their visitors. This is where they were coming from. This is where the toilets ended. Okay, so Mr. Sim was instrumental in the World Toilet Association, and he traveled the globe leading healthy, clean sanitation for all people. We're going again, 2010, another time warp. Mr. Sim, in a pixelated art form, all of these tiny little pictures are pulling together a detailed collage of his life. This is an awesome view from the outside of what his home and eventually became the museum looks like today. So now we're downstairs again, and there's some fun interactive things for children to participate in. So they can come here and see maybe how fortunate they are and how many children on different parts of the world are really in need of clean sanitation. So we're out here in the rain, so we must really love toilets, right? And we really must love you. But we're going to give you a little sneak peek at just some of the fun things around here, little snippets. And here we have a Korean astronaut. I don't know what that's all about, but let's go inside. Oh, we're going inside a spaceship, a kid's toilet right here. Woo, blast off. So cute. Look, everything's a little miniature. So looking back over my shoulder, you kind of have a better idea of what this building looks like and the grounds. And they're very well maintained. Lots of statues and commemorations of Mr. Sim and his life. Lovely statue of Mr. Sim right here and his life's work. It's pretty awesome. What a legacy. So these were pots made specifically for women. The ease of pouring and dumping whatever you did into the fields. So this was 660 BC. We've come a long way, baby. So collective poop was used as manure. It was called donghae, a combination of poop and ashes. It was bought and sold by people to fertilize whatever they were growing. The poo library. Let's go look at this. Okay, super fun treat we have, this interactive museum. This is where it all starts. Kids need to know how our bodies work. Would kids just get a kick out of that? I mean, that's awesome. Poop, poop, fart chair. I can't even believe I said those words, okay? Did you hear that? Okay. I bet they were cracking up at that. What do we eat? Certain things in our bodies make different kinds of poop, right? Good poop, bad poop. We've got some healthy golden poop right there. Soft, mushy poop. We've got hard poop. Oh, it's terrible. Oh no, watery, sticky poo. That's the worst. Okay, and goes through the 6 different ways to make good poop. Got a little bathroom here to teach hygiene, how to properly wash your hands. And then here we have deer poop, cow's poop, elephant poop, pig, and tiger. Okay, everybody poops differently. Got a fun little interactive video. And then a short evolution of where we were to where we are now. Kids love potty humor. They love it. And it's a great way to learn. Like, what comes in must go out. Let's put good things in so we can have a positive outcome Okay, we're going to wrap up today. The Children's Museum in Seoul, Korea. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, you guys, that was really fun. How did it feel to be, the cameraman?
It was challenging. I had the actress was...
The talent?
The talent was challenging. Very demanding.
It's true. I was like, I will not sit there. I'm sorry. It's pouring rain. I do not want to get soaked. I mean, I was like being...
sometimes you just have to sit in the puddle of water just to get the shot. But, anyway, she was a good sport.
Well, there seems to be some discussion on how we pronounce this. I'm going to hand it to you.
Okay, so Haewoojae...
We're looking at a brochure of the museum.
Haewoojae is the name of the toilet museum. It's not Haewoosu is the name for toilet.
Haewoosu.
Which is what in a Buddhist temple they use use that word as a place to go and relieve yourself.
Okay.
And to find relief. And then I think he must have taken his name because his name is Jae. So I think he made the museum Haewoojae instead of Haewoosu.
Okay.
So
any of our Korean listeners should call us or email us and let us
us.
know how wrong we are.
Yeah, well, I mean, it says here, Toilet Museum Haewoojae is derived from the word Haewoosu. Haewoosu is the name used in Buddhist temples to refer to toilet, and the word Haewoosu means a room where you can relieve your worries in order to commemorate the World Toilet Association, to spread knowledge and the importance throughout the world. Mr. Sim Jae Duck rebuilt his 30-year-old house, and then he named it Haewoojae. So,
all right.
Well, that's legit then. I mean, you're reading it right off their stuff.
Yeah, she doesn't make this stuff up.
Yeah,
she knows.
I thought you were winging it a little bit. I'm like, oh.
Because my Korean,
Shannon does know a ton of Korean.
Oh, it was kind of funny because we get into this taxi and the taxi driver says, "Do you know?" He's asking me in Korean if I know any Korean, and I'm like, I think he's asking me what words I know in Korean. So I just start from Korean dramas. I just start throwing out words, and then he would repeat them like he knew what I was saying. Like "salange" is "I love you." Or, I mean...
So you're just totally flirting with this cab driver and you have no
That's
idea.
right. Yeah, I'm saying I love you to the cab driver.
He's a little embarrassed.
And then we're sitting
You're saying it back, I mean.
We're sitting in standstill traffic and the car's not moving. And then all of a sudden I remembered another word, which is let's go. And I said, "Kaza? Kaza." And he's saying to me, "Well, I can't go because of all the traffic."
Yeah.
And I'm going...
He's thinking she's complaining. Like, let's go, come on.
And I'm
What's the problem?
And then I remembered another word, which is "wayo," which is why. And I'm like, "Oh, wayo." And he's like,
hello, can't you see the problem?
Lady,
and then I'm like,
look,
"Ani,
the
ani,
traffic.
ani," which is no. And I don't know how to tell him. I'm just throwing out my words, but they happen to be in context to what was happening. I'm like, awkward. Okay, just keep your mouth.
I think he gave us 1 star. This lady's complaining in the back. This is...
At first she said she loved me and then she got real demanding.
That's right.
That's right. Let's get out of my car.
Yeah.
Well, because we're talking about toilets and digestion, this is my segue into what was the coolest meal you ate?
Oh, man. Well... one of the places that I absolutely loved was it was a Michelin star place. And I mean, on the door, it has all these Michelin stars. And we saw this really cool couple go inside. And I was like, "Do you think we can get in there without a reservation?" And so we go inside and I asked the couple.
We have to be super cool to get in.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like dressed pretty chic. And I was like, "Hey, do we need a reservation?" And they luckily understood us and they said, "No, I don't think that'll be a problem." So we got in line, we ate. It was like, I mean, I ordered something. It was so spicy. I can handle spice. I can handle heat. I like it. And everything's just running and the tears and but I just kept eating it. It was chicken wings with like these nachos with peanuts.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, the whole dish was like bright red because of all of the heat that was in there. And the fried rice was amazing. Darren had some kind of soup. And I mean, the chicken wings were meant for both of us, but he couldn't. He was like, I just can't do it.
Thank you. I'll take all of these.
And
I'll take the melt your face off chicken wings.
Oh my gosh. It was like one of the hottest things that I've ever eaten, but it was so good. Yeah.
I don't have a lot of experience with Korean food. I mean, I think most people are familiar with kimchi.
Right.
But it's so fun to hear how they do, similar dishes, but they're kicking it up a notch, it sounds like.
I mean, everywhere you go, I was surprised about this. There were fun little coffee shops everywhere you go. And we're not coffee drinkers, but we do love herbal teas. And I mean, no one does teas well like the Asians. I mean, I'm sure the English would say, no, I think
and the Indians might say we do it too.
Exactly. But so we'd go into all these little coffee shops that are beautifully decorated and they have the most delicious pastries. And I mean, they're like every other place and they're hip. They're super hip and fun and funky. And the people that come in are just like, you just want to sit there and watch them.
I'm sure the people watching was fascinating.
Yeah. And so we would do that a couple times a day. We were just pastries and teas, and it was just delicious.
That sounds like a dream.
It was so fun. It was so fun.
You want to see, this is a picture of Shannon inside a toilet.
In the toilet.
There's my face
Look
in
how
the
cute.
toilet.
You have a ZuLoo microphone in the toilet with you.
That's right.
Very on brand.
With a big,
oh my gosh.
With a big elephant.
There's the elephant. Yeah.
Okay, you just zoomed out and there's basically an elephant peeing on Shannon's face.
Yeah, I know.
That's right.
It's very sweet.
Have Jocelyn hold that.
Okay.
Towards this camera.
So you all can see here what's happening. Once in a lifetime moment right here.
Yeah, and in the video I think, okay, I'm doing this. I'm going in.
Such a good sport. Such a good sport.
Totally.
She didn't get paid extra to do that. It was just like, she just jumped in there. Amazing.
A trip to Seoul. I'll do it.
Well, thank you guys. This was really, really fun to hear about. I think Korea has like moved its way up to like my top 5 on the bucket list to go check out.
You have to go. Well, I want to go back. I would like to go every year.
Okay, put me in your suitcase. I'm small.
Yep.
No one will ever know.
Yep.
I don't need to like breathe a lot. I'm fine.
So
yeah,
that'd be easy. No
I'm
problem.
so down with that. We would have a blast.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. This was a ton of fun.
Thanks,
and we will
Jocelyn.
see you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, ZuLoo.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more ZuLoo fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@ZuLoo.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the ZuLoo Pōōdcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.